What up, y'all? Smalls here. My pronouns are she and her, and I am here on Chumash and Tongvaland, otherwise known these days as Southern California or Greater Los Angeles area. And I'm an artist, an advocate, an abolitionist, and currently I'm the producer and creative director of Black and Sikh. Right. So, as a Black American, converting to and practicing what is essentially an ethno religion, depending on your definition and understanding of ethno religion, there's been a lot of challenges, right? I think one of the main ones is misogynoir, anti-blackness, dealing with that, and fighting for racial and social justice through a Western lens or through a Western social justice framework, but dealing with an Eastern ethno religion that is founded on equality and justice. And you would think, or this is at least was my thinking going in, oh, it's founded on equality and social justice and it's against casteism. What I found is that, and again, this is probably one of the biggest challenges, is that getting people to admit that things are not equal, that just because we are created equal and we are supposed to be treated equally does not mean that we are treated equally. It does not mean we have equal or even equitable experiences. Um, getting people to acknowledge and remember that equal does not mean same, that culture and religion are different, even if it is an ethno religion, again, depending on your definition of ethno religion. Culture and religion are not the same, and that we are allowed to, and not just allowed to, because our differences are not just tolerated, right? In Sikhi, that's one of the beautiful things about Sikhi, is that our differences are not just tolerated, but they're celebrated. Guru Nanak and our other gurus really um, advocated for that, for people being allowed to practice their faith and their belief in the way that worked best for them, and to maintain their culture and their identity through it all, even though you might understand what it is to be multiply marginalized based on your own experience. That my experience is different, my lived experience is different, being a woman, being a Black American descendant of enslaved people, being disabled, chronically ill, being queer, like all of these things make my lived experience different. And it is okay to acknowledge that. It's easy to focus on and only think about the negative aspects of what it is and what it means to be Black in America, specifically the US. When I say America, it can be easy to focus on that, focus on the negative things. And you know what? It doesn't matter how much how tough it is. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. A lot of times, folks will use the example. Um, oh, we know that other people understand that Black people are treated differently, because who would choose to be Black? Like, you wouldn't choose to be Black because you know how Black people are treated. And to that, I say, I would. I would choose it 10 times out of 10. I would choose to be Black if I had a choice, right? If I come back next lifetime or the time after that and I have a choice, I want to be Black every single time, right? Because I'm proud of where I come from. I've always been somebody who's proud to be Black, who revels in my Blackness, and I felt like that faith piece was like a missing piece for the longest. And so finding Sikhi kind of made me feel whole and complete in a way that Christianity never did, and no other faith practice ever has. Okay, so the way that I celebrate my racial and religious identities is by infusing as much of my culture into the practice of my faith as humanly possible, right? Whether it is wearing a do rag instead of a turban to the Gurdwara, because head's still covered, that's sufficient. Or the first time I went to go buy fabric for my first turban. Um, I intentionally did not get a solid color print. I intentionally got one that reminded me of Africa. It had these like African vibes on top of being like all of my favorite colors. Yes, I am a practicing Sikh, and I'm still proudly Black. I'm still proud to be who I am. I'm proud of my culture. I'm proud of where I come from. And I wanted that to be clear. That's the beauty of Sikhi, right? There's no one right way to be a Sikh. There's no one right way to do this thing called Sikhi. And so I love that. And when it comes to culture and religion and faith, I think that the two, I think they can coexist beautifully, almost like a salad bowl instead of a melting pot. That's the analogy I like to use, right? Like it's okay to like have these differences, and they all come together to create something that is beautiful.